Spy here.
What's going on, man?
I'm back. I'm actually ready to work now, I think. I hope.
Me too.
We're gonna do it today. We're gonna be here.
All right, everybody, what's up? This is Jack.
I'm gonna light a cigarette.
Go ahead. This is Jack. I'm sitting here with Spy, and we're gonna do a little bit of we're gonna update on the Activision Blizzard situation. But first, welcome to Spy Pie Gaming TV. We make content around highlighting games, industry news, obviously, and community or events surrounding the community. To any returning viewers, thank you for continuing to support the channel, and any new viewers, go ahead and subscribe. I'm assuming you're interested in this, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So make sure you subscribe, that way you're updated as soon as content drops, and make sure your notifications are turned on. Anyway, so getting into today's commentary. I know last week we dropped put out a discussion where we talked about the Activision Blizzard situation, and it was it was a big hit, and a lot of it was kind of us. It was really Spy and myself going off, I guess, really, because Blizzard and Activision, they're such iconic companies. But to clarify a little bit, I'm going to drill down into what the allegations actually are. I'm sure it's out there. But.
Quickly, Jack, I would like to say, so I was doing some research the other day about it, and I would like to say that I found out that a lot of it was also going on, or a good amount was going on also in Treyarch as well.
Yeah. I think we're for sure going to get into that, because I think everybody that has watched the channel knows I personally have made a switch. Let's see here. So to get into some of the specifics of what the allegations are, and I'm not going to list them all. There's 27 pages in the document that was filed by the state of California against Activision, and there are 10 causes of action. So I'll put a link. We'll make sure we get a link to that, for anybody who wants to read it, in the description down below. I'd
recommend reading it if you're actually really interested in it, and you don't want to hear two guys talk about crazy shit, or maybe you want to listen to us talk while you read it. I don't know, but as much as we might be able to talk on it, I really recommend reading the documents themselves if you want to know all the information within it.
Yeah, absolutely, because you got a lot of there's so much information out there, and it's difficult to discern, what's real, what's not. And that's not me trying to get into the fake news thing. It's just there's a fuck ton of information out there. If you read this, you're getting it straight from the horse's mouth. So here's some of the allegations that are being brought against the company. You've got sexual discrimination and harassment and retaliation against anyone who brings anything like that forward. Pay discrepancy that apparently is well documented and is based on gender. Unequal workloads, which I'm not going to say that I'm very, overly educated on that particular aspect. I need to actually read over the document again, but I'm.
Oh, you were an executive.
I mean, even sometimes we're not exactly perfect.
What do you care for again? Oh yeah, you edit videos.
Yeah. I think everybody saw that. Unequal workload. I have to assume that's also attached to gender or some other protected class. And then we have termination, where women are fired more often, which is also well documented. And then there's a new term that I've never encountered before. Constructive discharge. So for anybody that doesn't know what that is employees are feeling forced to resign because of unbearable treatment toward them by the employer.
It's really, that essentially means that they're forced out of their job. They're not fired directly. They're forced out. And if you resign, I mean, you lose your benefits anyway. If you're fired, you typically will retain some things, from what I understand.
It's a bad situation, you know, on the whole. If you got employees that feel that it's better for them to resign than it is to stay, you know, employed, it's just bad. Those are, you know, just some of those are some of the points that are brought forward. Like I said, there's actually 10 causes of action, and there's a lot of literature on it. Well, I say a lot. There's 27 pages, and they go far more in depth than I just did. But those are some pretty hot button topics, you know, and it's unbelievable coming out of a company like Activision or Blizzard, you know.
I mean, we always saw them as a cuddly business. Like, Blizzard is the one that's like, you know, they made World of Warcraft, they made Overwatch, they made these games that have these visually, like, beautiful elements, and you know, it's always like, you know, everyone always saw Blizzard as kind of, even during the times when they were failing on making the games as good as they could have, we all saw them as kind of like a, I don't know, not a traditional company kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, they were always seen as the good guys.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they pioneered. I don't know if pioneered's the right word, but they for sure set the standard for a lot of different game types.
Overwatch took over esports.
Yeah, you've got, you know, there's a lot that falls under the umbrella of Activision, such as Treyarch. You know, you've got Call of Duty, you've got World of Warcraft, as you mentioned. You've got, you know, you got a lot of these iconic franchises, and it's truly unbelievable, to me anyway, that such behavior went on behind the scenes, I guess, as these products are being delivered to us. And we have
products that are supposed to be delivered like relatively soon as well. Like, I mean, we don't know a date for Overwatch 2, and there was rumors of StarCraft, first-person shooter StarCraft, or rumors of an MMO StarCraft. Like, there's been a lot of rumors, but like, for real, we do know that Diablo 4 is coming out and Overwatch 2 is coming out, and I really think this is going to negatively hit them hard.
Absolutely, I'd be surprised if it didn't push back release dates. There's no telling what kind of inner turmoil is going on as far as development and, you know, getting those games buttoned up so they can be delivered, you know, to the public.
They may never actually end up like finishing these projects. I mean, because Overwatch 2 was announced so long ago, and Diablo 4 we got a trailer for a long time ago that wasn't even a trailer. And then they showed an actual trailer, and it's like, we don't have a date on these, and now this, and the other games in their series were already falling, and like it just, like, when you start to look at it all, it really shows a development crew. I think this is my personal opinion, and there's a lot of what we do here, is like, it shows lack of faith in the company from the people who work in it.
Yeah.
Lack of work ethic on the part of the people.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I don't mean that all negatively. I mean, some people, I understand why they would have negative work ethic.
Right.
But I think a lot of it actually comes from the higher ups or the people who may be doing this, where they just don't care anymore. They're just wanting to be idiots.
Yeah, it's really, it's amazing to me that anything got done under such circumstances, and you know, the quality of the games that were put out ended up being put out, and so something you said kind of segues into another point.
Real quick, Jack. I want to just say, not even like that long ago, maybe a year or two ago, they also had a whole nother issue where Bobby Kotick, the CEO of the company now, or I believe CEO, he's head, right? He's the lead of the business side of it. And he came over from, I believe, EA, which is already kind of like, people don't trust EA.
Yeah.
And I mean, this guy, like, he can't get on dates. Like, he had a whole thing where he got upset about dates because he can't get them because people look up his name and he has devil horns drawn on, like, photos of him, like the first images. And
that's not a good sign.
Right. And, like, I mean, from my opinion, as a guy with 500 subscribers, by the way, thank you all for 500. That's fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
From the opinion of me, personally, Spy, I say fuck Bobby Kotick. But, I mean, that's also because they axed the whole, like, side of, like, HR. They axed a whole bunch of people from HR. They did it in Europe as well. And then they had a whole thing with Europe, I believe. I remember something about it where the European, like British, or I believe maybe, or maybe Wales, somewhere around there, had a huge disagreement, like a court almost thing, because of it. Because they can't fire people like they can in the States and get away with it. They have different labor laws there.
Gotcha.
And that's like, they cut so many people, and then Bobby Kotick happened to have gotten a bonus that happened to have looked a lot like what it would have been to pay those people.
That's unreal, man.
Like, we all thought Blizzard was a company of, like, fun and giggles and stuff, but we have been seeing some real fall relatively soon. But, Jack, go on to the point you were going to make while I segue out of work.
Well, I would say, to your point, that, Blizzard and really Activision as a whole was kind of looked at as, hey, this company pumps out a lot of games that are a lot of fun and all this stuff. And I do believe, to this next point, actually, I do believe this next point shows that still exists, within the company. It's just been suppressed and put through hell and back, honestly.
Definitely would not want to be on their teams.
No, I couldn't imagine working. I know a lot of people say, I wouldn't put up with that shit. You'd be amazed at how many people will put up with it. But
when your livelihood's on the line, a lot of people have to make a decision, and while I say that a lot of the people there probably weren't involved, I hope at least, there was a lot of sitting around on it. Yeah. Especially by the executives, and I think they're the ones to really be looking at.
Yeah. This past Wednesday, there was the first formal protest since all this news broke, happened this past Wednesday on the 28th. It was Walkout Wednesday, it was given the name Walkout for Equality. And what it was a formal protest that was calling on leadership to improve conditions for marginalized groups. And that covers a lot of different groups of people working for this company. And it actually, it turns out that I don't know if they feel pressured into it or where it came from, but
it may be something to do with like a unionized thing. I think, with or maybe some kind of group, like, I don't know, maybe the company itself doesn't want to put pressure onto the people.
I would say, in my, humble opinion, I would say they know they're in a shitstorm right now and are trying to do whatever it is they can to save face, because the allegations listed in the beginning of this talk they're no fucking joke. It's companies don't want to be dealing with that, and not such an iconic company for sure.
and people don't want to be dealing with it, and the company's really just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Activision Blizzard ended up offering paid time off to anybody who wanted to participate, and from my understanding of it, the information that I could gather, it was both virtual and in person in some capacity. I know it's in the state of California, and I'm not going to get off on the pandemic and stuff, but I know they have their own particular set of how they're handling it. So,
well, California is also set up to be more mobile anyway. You have apps on your phone to go to the subway, whereas in other places you would just realistically pay coins.
Right. I mean, we are talking about
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Silicon Valley. In essence, the organizers of this particular protest had come out and to kind of, I'm not gonna cover the entire statement because it's a pretty lengthy one, but the organizers come out, and to summarize, what the whole point of this was the employees believe their value is not being reflected by leadership's actions, and they want to bring that to leadership's attention. And maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't really know. I know there was some other things going on around this at the time, or on the same day, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, the message was conveyed. But
what I think about it really is, when it comes to it, you got two really different outlooks on it. If you really want to boil it down, I mean, you got many outlooks on it. But we're talking about the people and like us here talking about it. There's two outlooks that I would say are prominent, and it's cynical or hopeful. Either people don't believe it's going to happen, and they're like, well, I mean, we need to think about it. Let's play, put a devil's advocate with it and consider it. There's a good chance, and as the documents themselves even say, that it was willful, malicious intent, like they chose to do these things in the company. The cynical outlook would look at it and say, well, I mean, if you brought it to their attention, are they really going to do anything?
Right. And I would say that's probably where some of the retaliation, practices come from, honestly.
That's probably why they had the whole thing in the first place, is that if you make it public, they have to do something.
Right. And that's why I made the statement that I believe it's probably more so that Activision Blizzard was pressured or felt pressure, maybe not directly pressured, but they felt the heat of what's going on, and which is why they ended up offering paid time off to the people that I guess maybe weren't going to be off, so they could participate in this Walkout Wednesday event.
Mm-hmm. Speaking about the pressure, by the way, do you kind of talk about Blizzard's response real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that because you're talking about how they're feeling the heat. Like, they threw some heat back with that first one. That first comment that first response they put out, it almost felt like they were really just deflecting. I mean, immediately they're like, it's California. They're trying to drive business out and fuck you. So like it felt like, what it felt like? They say frat boy culture.
Yeah.
And it really, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's what it really feels like. It feels like those are fucking frat boys sitting in a goddamn room, typing a long ass text back saying, fuck you.
Right.
They're not going to take it. Your shit. I'm going to do my own thing. I can go any school I want. Fucking dicks. Like, and that's what it felt like I was a customer for, 6 years? Like 6 years I was a customer, and you're like, listen, I have very well in my right paid enough money to you to look at this allegation and ask a fair question.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Everyone who has played World of Warcraft understands that World of Warcraft, you got to buy the game. Well, you don't have to buy the base game anymore. You used to, right? You used to have to buy the base game. You'd buy the expansions. Then you had to pay monthly. So it's an upfront cost like a motherfucker. And everyone here who's played World of Warcraft, I'd say for more than 2 months, has definitely paid their dividends into asking one goddamn question.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can't stop and they snap fucking turn right away. Like, I mean, literally, the next day or day of, I can't remember exactly, but it was like right as after we put that video out. Mm-hmm. It was like, nah, we didn't do it. What are you talking about? It's like, man,
yeah, like
just give me a straight answer. You're deflecting. And then we had other people who were higher up saying stuff like J. Allen Brack, who is the game director on World of Warcraft. People read his response, and he says that there were issues in the past, or that there, and what did he say? He said we're working forward to fix these issues. And then another developer, or one of the executive guys, had also said there were never anything like this. And then another guy says we're resolving it internally. So it's like there's 3 goddamn answers to the simple question. And the simple question is,
right,
are you or are you not making a hostile work environment?
Right. I've seen, so I didn't see, maybe I didn't see the initial answers. I did see some responses. I just assumed, hey, their mindset was, hey, we're going to get our game plan together because the cat's out of the bag now. So the responses that I saw were, extremely vanilla. They were, the basic PR, we're not going to confirm or deny, in like true FBI fashion or something. We're not going to confirm nor deny these things were or were not going on, or are not going on. And that's kind of, that's kind of a summary of the things that I saw. And I've seen goofy things to like rectify. I don't know if they're looking at it that way or not, but to like rectify the issue, like they're taking references to people out of games and stuff like that. Like that's not a real fix. That's not a real fix.
I can't remember what his name. The A. We're gonna call him A. Is Anasazi. I'm gonna say Anasazi. I think I'm butchering the hell out of the name.
Yeah.
But either way, he had tons of shit said about him, like by reference in the fucking documents. Right. And then, so recently, the Crosby Suite thing that came out of it.
Yep, I'm glad you brought that up, because if you didn't, I was gonna.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of people were like, what the hell is the Crosby Suite? Like, it's referenced a couple times, I believe, once at least, in the documents. And they were talking about it like, it's supposed to be like one of those places you don't go. I mean, anything called Crosby Suite is a place I don't want to go. Or Cosby, Bill Cosby.
Cosby, yeah.
So I keep saying Crosby. It's Cosby. And so what happened, apparently, was people had dug into his Facebook and found shit on it where they have a photo of them standing or sitting on a bed, I believe, or on a couch or something. Mm-hmm. And one of them is holding a goddamn big-ass picture signed by Bill Cosby. And in the comments, they're saying stuff, and it's like, I don't know, how are you going to deny that? I don't know, you're in a hotel suite, and you got a picture of Bill Cosby. And it's called the Cosby Suite, and people are apparently to get in with the in group, you needed to go there, which is already kind of culty in my mind.
That's disturbing is probably a good word for that. That's disturbing. I had seen some reference. The reason I was going to bring it up was I had seen some reference to it. It's been confirmed that it exists. Like that's so bad.
Oh, I remember something else about it too. Just now, I was thinking back about it, and I remember because I was watching Asmon's thing about it, his stream about, and then he had a thing on it. Mm-hmm. And I always watch his content on YouTube. Honestly, he's great guy. And so I was watching that stuff, and they were talking about it, and apparently after it was for BlizzCon, they had this apartment or whatever, right? And apparently what happened was one of them had moved out, or the guy who owned it or whatever moved out, and then someone, from what I understand, took it over and said the Cosby suite will live on, or will continue, or whatever, something like that.
Wow.
I'm not exactly sure of what it was he said on it, but I know it was something of that vein where it's like they wanted to keep the Cosby suite going.
Wow.
And Asman even had a thing where he said, you could pick so many controversial people, like even George Carlin, and he would have been one that's controversial, but I mean he would have been one that would be okay. At least we would have known that we wouldn't have known what we know about.
Right. That's a situation, and I don't mean to laugh or downplay any of this, but it's kind of one of like I said before, it's one of those. It's like I'm gonna laugh, or I feel like punching somebody in the face, because this is just none of this stuff is okay. And I'm not advocating violence, but something needs to be done. So anyway.
Oh yeah, and apparently they're all big fans of, or they were at the time. It was 2012 that this was the photo was uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, they all said that they were really big fans of Bill Cosby, and at the time, they had no idea that there were allegations ongoing about him. Now, 2012, I can kind of see, but here's the thing. We all kind of knew Bill Cosby was doing weird things. I mean, there's been rumblings about this for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
And to act as if it's okay. You know what I mean? It's literally like Asman said, and this is kind of he said, what if an ISIS member said that his favorite band was ISIS? It's that kind of level of convenient, oh, I guess it's, no, that's not what it was. Look over here. No, it was just something simple.
Right.
No, that's not. That don't lie.
We're gonna keep the name of this going. We're gonna keep this concept going, with a predatorial tone, and oh, by the way, all this stuff is going on in the company, at the same time.
And if you want to be up with us, if you want to know the higher ups or make any moves in the business, you better come over here to this really, really creepy idea of an apartment.
Yeah, that's just it's really not okay.
Who actually, if you have a signed copy from Bill Cosby, if you got it forever ago, why would you still keep it today?
I don't know. I'm not one of those people. I'm just not. I would personally, it would lose its luster, its awe, its value, whatever.
Almost like we have for Blizzard games whenever we found out what was going on there.
Right, exactly.
It's an immediate oh shit, this ain't cool no more.
Right.
And it's not something that you're oh, it's not cool societally. It's this ain't cool with me anymore.
Right. Fundamentally, as a human being, you should not be doing this to other human beings. So
I disagree with you now, and I'm not going to have any more of your product.
Right. No more support from this guy.
Right. And then, as I always say, I'm a hopeful person. I hope that this all gets solved. I do, but I don't see a way that it gets resolved without people at the top losing their jobs or having some kind of fucking crazy shit going on. It's going to be a shakeup of a company. It has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be an easy fix. So I will speak to my background for I guess reference purposes. I've spent some in a past life. I've been in management, and it is the situation we're talking about is at the core is a cultural change, and the culture comes. It's one of those things that's driven top down, right? If the CEO is not on board, it doesn't work. If the people if the CEO is not holding the people accountable below him, to the culture, it doesn't work.
Right.
Like, it's top down, has to be everyone held accountable. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
You know, and Ubisoft, I know this isn't about World of Warcraft or Blizzard, but they had a situation where they were straight up like, it's straight up like they did it. And I personally, I owned games from Ubisoft. Like, I mean, I bought them like forever ago. Like, you know, Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed 2, you know, those games were fucking fantastic, Revelations. Right. And then, you know, like even Far Cry Blood Dragon, which was like a sci-fi, cyberpunky, where it was fun. Right. And now, like, as soon as I heard about it, like I was hearing about it on Jim Sterling's YouTube, and I always call out bigger channels because like I watch a lot of YouTube myself. Right. And when I heard about
inspiration from somewhere.
Right. And when I was watching his video about it, I was like, holy crap. Like, he was going into it. He was like, this is fucking crazy. And he was like, fuck Ubisoft. And when I heard him say it, I was like, yeah, fuck Ubisoft. Yeah. And now it's happening to a company. Like, I mean, we all knew WoW would kill WoW. ESO and Final Fantasy, you better open your doors real big because you're going to have a lot of WoW refugees coming in soon. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. That's... You know, from what I understand, I did not play the game. It was something I simply missed out on. But from what I understand, that was.
But you did play a lot of Call of Duty, though.
I did, which is a point we're going to get into actually. As I understand it, there was already an issue with, I guess, World of Warcraft in general, and there was this thing going on. You know, WoW refugees. You know, you got Asmongold like switched over to Final Fantasy 14. I can't say that I've consumed a ton of his content, but
I mean, 200K drop from WoW.
Right, like, I mean, that's significant. That in and of itself should probably send a message.
And not only him. I mean, we're talking about Bellular, and he dropped off. And quickly talk about Preach, who is one of the most. I mean, honestly, I respect Preach like fully. That man has my respect on a lot of things. Like when he found out that Method, which was a top rating guild, you probably don't know, but a lot of people who play WoW will know about Method, which is like this massive guild of people that are like top dog, and they have been for so long. And Method Josh was his name. He's Josh. And he was found to be like, I can't remember if it was some kind of sexual harassment. I think it might have been even pedophilia. And it was a bad fucking shit. And whenever he heard about it, he was fucking livid. Like, he had his kids around this guy. He had his wife around this man. He knew this person. He held the world first race for Blizzard even. Like, and sponsored by fucking Monster or Red Bull or whatever. Right. And like all these things. Like, he was there and he knew this guy. And when he found out about it, he actually didn't host the world first that year. He canceled his plans direct. Like, that put him at a financial loss.
That's how you have to be, though. You have to, if you're going to stand for something, you have to stand for it, period, end of story.
Right. Like, and then now he's saying that he's not even going to cover WoW content unless there's a major shakeup, I think is what, I don't even know if he said if there's a major shakeup. He might just not ever do it again. Right. And I mean, whenever Preach speaks about like class guides, dungeon guides, doesn't matter. If Preach talks about it and he speaks about it, you know that he knows his shit. Right. Like, you can tell it in the way he speaks and the way he conversates about everything on his channel. He is a direct person and he knows his shit. Right. And if he's stepping away, we have issues. Like, he's a top 1% player kind of guy. Like, he's the kind of guy you want. He's the person that's going to pump 40, 50, 60 hours in a week. Right. Like, I mean, and I say that, like, he's going to put more than that. Right. And Asmongold streams the game constantly, which is, let's be honest, streaming is a constant advertisement for your game. You should want that. Yeah. So now you have one of the top 1% players leaving. You have Asmongold leaving. Bellular, I'm pretty sure, is leaving as well. I mean, he may have already left, I'm pretty sure. He mostly plays Final Fantasy nowadays. And he had a whole fucking thing just not even that long before the court case talking about how he fucking just hates WoW nowadays. Right. And it's like, it's one of these things. It's like when you're losing the people who are the most dedicated, like Asmongold, who's played from vanilla, like Preach, who's played from vanilla, and they are saying, nah, it ain't good for you.
No.
No. You don't want that audience leaving.
No, that's very problematic. Very, very problematic.
And I would say if Preach makes a decision, I think a lot of people are going to stand behind him.
Yeah.
And Asmongold as well. I say that about Asmongold, but I say Preach because as much as Asmongold is a very, very good player and I love his content, I do think Preach is just one of those guys that's like, you just don't want to lose Preach. He is a fundamental figure in the WoW community, and so is Asmongold, but damn, Preach, man, that hurts.
Right.
Like, Asmongold playing Final Fantasy, I'm fully on board with that. But I just feel sad that seeing Preach go.
Right.
I mean, his builds and shit, I copied all the time when I was first starting.
Right.
And it's sad.
It is. It's never good. It's never good when you lose massive icons.
Dedicated people.
Yes. And when you lose them from a culture, essentially, you know, it's a subculture, a community. You know, whenever these iconic individuals step away, because like the game in and of itself is iconic, or has been iconic anyway for a long time. When you have these iconic individuals that are in the community that play the game step away, you have to believe you can't discount it. You can't discount it. You have to believe there are going to be a lot of people following them. There just are.
And people and the thing is that really sucks for a lot of people who create WoW content on YouTube. I don't know what to say for them. I mean, we made our changeover from WoW pretty quickly. Yeah. And we decided to go ahead and go more ESO and stuff. But I can only imagine the people who have YouTube channels right now who, like, all their stuff is WoW.
It's honestly, it's probably scary. Probably scary.
If we didn't make the change, I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole, we don't feel comfortable covering it. The people don't want to hear about it anymore. And now it's a situation where it's like, fuck. Like, our hands are tied if we were that kind of person, we'd feel like our hands are tied.
Yeah. And you've invested all this time and effort into it, and then something like this happens, and you're like, whoa.
And what are you going to...
Shit.
Yeah, and what about your community? Like, I consider the amount of people that... I mean, if you're a WoW content creator, you probably have a lot of people who play WoW.
Yes.
Well, where are they going to go? Well, they're going to go to two very different MMOs.
Yes.
And if you don't know which MMO they're going to, you're probably going to have a massive drop-off.
Yes.
And it's going to be a majority basis, and I see a lot of issues coming from this. This isn't just a Blizzard issue.
No.
This is going to trickle down to the players, and it has, I think, already into the game.
Yeah.
But it's going to trickle down to the players. It's going to trickle down to the people who are most invested in this franchise are going to feel the worst about it. And they're going to feel it in, like, the worst possible way, in a monetized way. Yes. In a way that I've built my reputation, I built my personality or whatever on the internet off this idea, and now that idea has been sullied by sexual misconduct and fucking crazy shit, and it's like, now if you play WoW, I mean, I understand, but like, you're putting your neck out.
Yes. It's truly a mess, and I know there's a lot of social causes and whatnot, and I'm not going to get into that, but this is a really good example of something that needs to be addressed. It's, the company, the organization, their attention needs to be grabbed in a very swift, quick, hard jerk kind of way. Like, get your shit together. It's not going to be, I was kind of talking about cultural change a second ago. It's not going to be, those types of changes are not fast, but
No.
In this particular case, it's absolutely necessary.
I really hope that, and I say like this out of love for, or past love really for the game nowadays, is I hope that World of Warcraft, I'm sad because World of Warcraft has had such a slow death. It's been over, 2 expansions of just a slow, monotonous death. And nothing is going to, can I get one of your cigarettes? Nothing is going to, realistically solve that.
Right.
At this point, you've already got the community disgruntled. You've already got the people who were playing before. If you were playing before, now is a reason to leave for real.
Right.
And it's I don't know, man. It's definitely going to come back. It's going to come back around. And even if they put content into WoW now, even if they make the game better, I don't think that's enough.
No. There's probably, some number of people that will hang out, play the game, things like that. It's, you're talking about, putting time, investment, and building this reputation around something, and that kind of leads me to a point I brought up earlier a little bit. So something that was going on around the Walkout for Equality they had this past Wednesday was streamers that regularly stream Activision games were advocating themselves and other streamers to not do so on that particular day, and there was some number that did, and that's a personal choice and whatnot. I'm not taking a stance one way or the other. If it was me, I'm not. If you've been paying attention to the channel, I dropped Call of Duty Mobile in a heartbeat. Dropped it in a heartbeat. Re-downloaded PUBG Mobile. You hear the word mobile, you're like, what the fuck? This guy's not playing, the real version of the game. It is what it is. Mobile gaming's, it's kind of coming into its own. It's not where.
Yeah, but do you guys have phones?
I have a phone. Yeah.
Are you playing Diablo Immortal on it? If it ever released.
Yeah, if it ever released. I think maybe not being able to get it on PC was a thing, but then there's BlueStacks, which I got mixed emotions about. But
hey, I was looking forward to Diablo 4, but I think I'll save my money.
Right.
If I look, and going back just a minute, or probably 20 minutes to the people watching, if I gave you $60 and then $15 every month, and all I wanted was to ask you one question, and I'd been doing this for 6 years, are you gonna give me an answer?
I think you deserve one, yeah.
At that point, it's hey man, you've been a real big part of our success at all.
Right.
Every single individual has been pretty big, and now for the first time ever, honestly, the whole WoW community to a most level is so we have one question now. We're not going to ask 400 like we normally do. Right. We're not going to ask about renown and fucking PvP, and we're going to ask about fucking helm change, shit like that. We're not going to ask about that. Right. We have literally one question for you as a unit now. And we've never been, WoW community has always been a divided, crazy mess, right? You got guilds, it's fucking insanity. But now we have one. Mm-hmm. We have one question, and as a unit, we're asking you directly what's going on.
Right.
And I'm going to be honest with you, 5 million people paying me $15 a month, I'm going to answer their goddamn question.
Right. Yeah. It seems like inherently the right thing to do, right? But, it's hard to ask that of somebody.
We're saying 5 million because that's the last estimate they gave back in Warlords of Draenor. The reason they had a fucking half of their subscribers fucking drop off the face of the earth back in Warlords. And I think we found out they went to Final Fantasy and ASO, but we didn't know that then because we were all playing WoW.
Right.
And half the fucking people like dropped off, and then they were like, we think we have a better way of gaining metrics instead of subscriber count, and then they stopped. Like, they had half their fucking revenue drop off, and then we're like, we're just gonna count revenue earnings. We're not gonna count our subscribers, as they had been doing, by the way, since fucking 2005.
Yeah.
All the way to like 2015.
Yeah.
Like 10 years. They had been giving us subscriber numbers, like, pretty annually. And now they're just like, and then they were like, nah, we don't need to talk about it anymore. So I say 5 million. My real estimate, before this, 3 million. Maybe. And now, I'm going to say maybe 1 million still.
Yeah, it's ugly stuff. It's ugly stuff. I don't know. Every time that it comes up, I get a mixed feeling of being at a loss for words, and then like I just want to like diarrhea of the mouth, like all the shit that's wrong with this.
Because there's a lot. I mean, 10. Man, California's bringing 10 things, 10 points, 10 like. And I keep saying 10 because it's fucking 10 of them.
Right.
10 things saying, hey. And underneath every 10 of them, there's like 20 examples of it. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right now, like, I'm just going to say a state doesn't go that specific unless there's really shit going on.
No, I mean, you got a 2-year long investigation.
Yeah.
You're going to turn some stuff up. If it's going on, it's you're going to find it. And
clearly California was able to do that.
Yeah. Definitely. For anybody who is interested, there are some charities that are being donated to in mass in relation to what's been going on, or what has gone on. I guess gone on. I don't know. It's probably not stopped yet. But
and you said that some streamers were also donating to this as well.
They are, yes. Either money or. I
mean, publicity also. Yeah. That's also a very big part.
Yeah. So, some of the. Actually, this is the list of charities that I could find that are associated with the efforts here around the Activision Blizzard event. So you have Black Girls Code, Futures Without Violence, Girls Who Code, RAINN, spelled RAINN. I do not know what that acronym stands for, I'm not going to lie. Women in Animation and Women in Games International.
Yeah, that's all 6 of them, I believe, actually.
Yeah,
there were 6 major charities, and I believe they're going to the people who are have been mostly, really fucked over by this.
Yeah. I will make sure to get, I will make sure to get the links to all the stuff that we've referenced that is not opinion, that is fact, like links to the charities, links to the documents, so you can read it for yourself, and charities mainly. That way, if you feel the need, then you can contribute, do something about it, in whatever way you can. I'm sure they'll absolutely appreciate it.
I wrapping up here pretty soon, and I would like to say, Asmongold, again, as we've talked about him many times tonight, had said, I don't think players are inherently have to care about this.
Right.
Let's be honest, it's a video game, and a lot of people are not involved in the discussion around the actual companies and stuff like that. And so, understandably so, a lot of people are probably not going to stop playing WoW or not, like, quit.
Right.
They're that on that level.
Right.
And I understand it. And because they're just people who are playing. Some people do not want to get involved in this stuff. I mean, I personally hate the idea of just talking about politics and stuff like that in general. So,
right.
Like, it's one of those situations where I get it, where players may just not want to talk about this.
Right.
And, I mean, we're going to be talking about this, and we may even be talking about this again, but I hope not relatively soon, because It is such a bad situation. But
it is.
I would say that, people are going to continue to talk about it. But if you're one of those people who is just playing World of Warcraft and you really want to stay out of it, I'd say from Spy here, I understand, but I really wish you wouldn't. That's kind of my thing, because we got to vote with our money. I mean, that's what matters when it comes to a company is your money. And if you really want to see a change in a company, take away their big revenue and they'll listen.
Yeah, you take away you take away the lifeline, something happens, move or die. That's and kind of speaking from my opinion on what Spy was saying. There's this thing or this concept that's maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. I think it was mentioned in our last talk about this. You separate the art from the artist. In a lot of cases, I can do that. This is my personal opinion.
We do this with like Edgar Allan Poe and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, he wrote some really great poetry. Like, I know this is a gaming channel. He wrote some really great poetry. He was a shit individual. He just was. He was an alcoholic. It is what it is.
Right.
You separate the art from the artist. Video games are very much an art, in my opinion, and I would say in yours too. I
mean, video games are definitely, if they're not art, they have art in them.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
At some point, you got to look at it and say, I mean, fuck, some guy designed that mountain.
Right. There's a lot of creativity that goes into it. So I get if you're one of those people, and nothing against you, if you're one of those people, because I am in a lot of cases, who separates the art from the artist, cool. I can't in this one. I just can't. I can't. It's too abhorrent. It's too
personal. Like, it really feels a personal thing, doesn't it? It feels very...
It is. It does, because it's such a large organization. It's such an iconic organization in the community of gaming, and something like this going on, inevitably, like, we're all people. I get it. People make bad decisions, but goddamn,
people are going to...
There are a lot of bad decisions stacked on top of one another.
People are going to listen. I would always say, play the games you want to play more than anything.
Right.
But, every Call of Duty is, we get a new Call of Duty every year.
Right.
We get a new WoW expansion every 2 years. I think until we see a shakeup, give it a year.
Yeah.
Don't give them your money this time. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Give them a year and see where they're at.
It's absolutely not happening for me. I spent the last 2 years, I want to say 2 years. I think COD Mobile came out in 2019.
Doesn't feel like it's been that long ago.
It doesn't, but I'm pretty sure that's when it was. This happened. It's come out. I read about it, started digging into it, dropped it, deleted it from my phone. I had mentioned not buying the Battle Pass, in one or two of the videos that I did. Definitely not doing that anytime soon.
And there will be, honestly, from us, we're not going to be putting out any Activision or Blizzard content on this channel. I'm not resubbing to WoW anytime soon. And I say that even knowing that I may never, and I'm honestly looking forward to I'm kind of looking forward to deleting WoW Classic off my PC. It's funny because before we even started this channel, I deleted World of Warcraft, not Classic, but actual client.
Right.
And And like, you know what is kind of weird after doing it, where you're like, well, I can't play now. I can't just log in and put my credit card in and pay and play. And now I'm like, and from there I was like, well, I really don't give a shit anymore.
Right.
And they're like, Burning Crusade, and I'm like, fuck, god damn it, you got me in again.
Right.
Because, you know, we're all people we're all customers. We see a shiny thing dangled in front of us. We're long enough, we're probably gonna buy it. But this one, I'm not subbing back to WoW. I'm not putting out any WoW content. I'm not putting out any Blizzard content at all. And unless I personally see that there has been a shakeup in the company in some way to get rid of these people who have made people's lives miserable. Because these are people. These aren't just nameless game developers that sit behind a desk. These aren't people these aren't just numbers. These are individuals who have been directly affected by this chaotic mess. And until I see that rectified, I'm never going to pay for another dollar to Blizzard. And even if I do see it rectified, I don't even know if I would then.
Right. Yep. I fully respect that. I hope that anybody watching, I hope you can separate fact from opinion here and respect it as well. That is one of the things, if you've read the about section on our channel, diversity and tolerance of opinion is one of the things that we push and strive for.
Well, you only grow with it.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is. That's if you're housed, if you stay in your own silo and you just keep getting in this redundancy of the same shit that you like to hear over and over and over again, you're never going to hear anything else. You're never going to grow. Right. You're never going to get educated. Which goes off into a whole different direction, whole different we could talk about that for 3 hours probably. I know we're coming up on an hour here, but and that's even with us. If you're a person who watches all of our content, I even recommend you go out and find other content about the same topics. I mean, we are two guys sitting in a garage talking about some pretty serious shit. And the fact of the matter is, no two people can have a complete opinion about something this fucked up. No.
I don't think so. And I don't think anyone can really say that we have a complete opinion yet anyway, because it hasn't even gone to court. So the real thing, I think, is that if you're a person who watches our content, I really recommend, if you're interested in this stuff, to go out. I would watch, and personally, I'm going to call it out, I would say I would watch Preach's content on it. And I would definitely watch Asmongold's content on it.
Yes.
And I would probably also go ahead and check out Bellular, and as well as small people as well. Smaller channels are going to have more opinions, as ours is a very opinion-based channel, but we also throw a lot of fact in as well.
Right.
And we always try to stay a little bit on topic, even though we fail. It's one of those things that, diversity in gaming, it goes much farther than just your player character.
Right.
It's one of those things that, I've played with people that, live in Australia. I raided with guys from Australia. I raided from guys from Britain. And the only thing that came out of that was fun times and just crazy shit. So realistically, if you want to hear a complete opinion, you got to go around multiple places.
Yep. Fully agree. So I think we've covered a lot. I know we've been talking for a while. I'm hoping, you got some value out of this if you're listening. I think we'll be probably going to go ahead and wrap this up. I just want to say...
Do you have a phone?
I do have a phone. As a matter of fact, we're using my phone right now.
It's kind of funny. So behind the scenes, again, this is Spy behind the scenes now, not Jack.
Yeah.
For the sneeze over here, I'm going to call you out a little bit.
Here we go.
So Jack had a microphone, and it was really good, right? You guys heard it. It was a pretty damn good microphone. And one day we unplugged it, and it just don't work no more. So, I'm looking at Jack over here. He's supposed to be an executive guy. He's supposed to know what he's doing. I don't know about that. He's calling me out, and this is behind the scenes here. We're using his goddamn phone here, playing Diablo Immortals. Like, you know.
I mean, I did tell you guys I was having some audio recording issues. I'll be fixing that here shortly.
Hey, no, don't you even be. Hey, listen. If my sneeze track, if I find that sneeze track in any more videos, we're gonna have a goddamn conversation. All right. And if don't you ever pull out the milk one. All right. That happened. We moved past it. All right. We're not talking about it anymore.
Told you, didn't I?
No. It's not. That is not a confirmation. You cannot test. I will not testify in court about that.
Well, Activision's gonna.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna testify about something.
They're gonna testify as a guilty plea for fuck sure. There's no way. I mean, like, listen. This is the end of the video. We don't have to be factual anymore. Like, this is opinion, realistically. But like, let's be straight. Like, homie to homie here. They're fucked.
Yeah.
They're fucked hard, man.
Yeah. They're in a terrible situation.
Like,
and
what are they gonna do? Like, I mean, dude, you've worked in business in some degree. Like, there's gotta be something. Like, is there fucking one way that, like, you see this company making it out and actually having a good staff?
So, I said it last time and I'll say it again. And, you know, if you get offended by me saying something violent, then you do. I can't help it. You pull the trigger and start stepping over bodies. That's all there is to it. You're damage control at this point. And
Jack over here talking about, you know, axing off people. I mean, like, hey, listen, if they can axe off a whole side of HR, I'm sure that we can save a few dollars here and there as well.
Chopping up HR is probably how we got where we're at.
I'm imagining so, but
I say we, Activision.
Chopping up HR also meant that people got retaliation for it. Like, what the fuck's going on there, man? Like, realistically, like, how the fuck is your HR not even HR?
Yeah.
And, like, the hotline that they added. Like, I know we talked about this either in the last video or after the video. Mm-hmm. But I remember talking about it with you. It's like, okay, a hotline for employees of a company, right? And they're a third party. Mm-hmm. All right, you call it. What can a third party do other than take it to HR?
Right, exactly.
Like, realistically, they can do that. They can take it to HR, which we already have known now that is going to feed it to Blizzard, and then it's going to do retaliation, and then they're going to fuck with the people down below. It's like, it's a goddamn circle. I mean, We know you like circles, Jack. Let's talk about circles. No. All right. I'm just saying, you know, it's a fucking circle.
We'll stay off the milk subject if we stay off the circle subject.
I can't promise that.
No.
I mean, listen.
I guess we're going to be in Mexican standoff then.
I mean, that's okay. I feel like if we're going to be doing gunslinger stuff, at least give me a nice one. All right? I want to look pretty when I die.
Oh, all right, everybody. Well, that's
the Rhinestone Cowboy.
That's going to be it for...
I refuse to let you finish it.
All right.
I'm kidding. Go ahead, Jack. Finish the video. And guess what? You're going to have to edit it afterwards. So, like, I can go home and do my own thing. I mean, I'm always here. Like, I just come here. And I stay here for, like, long periods. So, like, you know.
He does. He's like one of those panhandlers that you're not real sure if they're actually for real or not.
No, I'm like one of these goddamn flies in your garage that keep flying. Like, dude, it flew on my nose while I'm in the Maelstrom Arena. Like, I'm doing the fucking Frost Giant one. Yeah. And I'm in the boss fight, and I'm literally, like, this fucking close to dying, and he's this fucking close to dying as well. Yeah. And as soon as I'm, like, about to hit an ability, I have a fly land on my goddamn nose. I flick it off, and then my whole vision's disoriented for like 30 seconds, and I'm like, God, screaming. And so, like, and, you know, the Mrs. Executive came in, and when Miss Executive came in, she gave me a fuck ton of shit for it. And, you know, like, Miss Executive always gives me shit, but, like, you know, come on, it's a fly on my nose. I'm trying to do shit. I'm trying to get weapons.
Yeah, it happens. All right, everybody. That's going to be it for, we're going to wrap up today's commentary. We will be as Spy had stated earlier, we will be keeping up with this as it plays out. Thanks everybody for watching. I guess really listening. This is more of a podcast type thing, I guess, realistically. But
I mean, fuck, man, let's just start streaming now.
Right.
We were talking about it, and we were alluding to it. And I saw your video, by the way, about the whole sneeze thing, and there was some alluding going on there. I feel.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe.
Listen,
spoiler.
Listen. I'm giving heads up spoilers to all you people right now. We're gonna be playing a lot of weird shit every now and then. Yeah. It's okay. It's all right. Look, we did an Oblivion video. What do you expect from us?
Right.
We cover games from 2007 every now and then. Like, it just happens. All right.
There's a place for it.
There's a place for it, and it's in our hearts. As and in the heart of Lorcon. Dagoth, talking about come to me openly and not through stealth. Blizzard.
Thanks everybody for watching.
I'm sorry, I just went crazy.
That's all right. It happens here. Thanks everybody.
I'm not apologizing to you. I'm apologizing to them, man. They deserve it. They had to sit through an hour of me.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on key, and I'm over here like talking about fucking. Do you have a phone?
I mean, I think it's appropriate.
I think we gotta laugh. We gotta laugh a little.
You do.
Because if we don't, this whole situation gets real deep in your mind. It's one of those things that sticks in, and you can't, especially for us. I mean, artists got to stay positive. I wouldn't call us artists really, but creative people, as we're trying to be, that we got to stay positive in some regard. And if we're not, our content suffers in a way, and it's always good to stay positive, even in the face of, utter just horrible situations.
Right.
Just cut every clip of me talking out and just post it.
So that's going to be it for today's video.
Are you sure?
Thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't yet, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Hit the like, hit the share. Leave us a comment down below to the following question. Are you going to continue to play Activision, Blizzard, and any other games that are under that umbrella? Anyway, that's it for today. We appreciate it. If you've made it this far, we know you didn't have to. We greatly appreciate the support from everyone. We're up to over 500 subscribers in a very, very short period of time.
Yes, thank you all for that, honestly.
You're really helping the community grow, and we really deeply appreciate it. So anyway, that's going to be it. This is Jack.
And this is Spy getting the last word in.
As per normal.
No, I'm going to get the last word. I'll do this all night. You have to edit it, not me.
That's all right.
Oh, well, I guess you can edit the last comment out.
Signing off.
All right. Hey. Don't let him do it. No.